Now, a WYFF News 4 Sports Special.
We've clawed and scrapped and fought to be in.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
We have some big plans coming up in March.
And Clemson Tigers, together in the NCAA tournament.
It's every kid's dream to play in March Madness.
For the first time in 26 years.
Not everybody gets the opportunity to hear their name called.
And the undefeated South Carolina women.
They don't really like losing.
Shooting for a third national championship. Now, road to the title.
It's a pretty simple formula, really. Win and move on, lose and go home, but it's everything in the equation. The buzzer beaters, the unpredictable upsets, the half-court heaves that make up the magic of March. Thanks for joining us for Road to the Title. I'm Mark Whiteman. Julia Morris and Chase Justice will join me in just a moment. Don Staley's Gamecocks are the #1 overall seed for the third year running, but we begin tonight in the men's bracket where, after nearly 3 decades, Clemson and South Carolina are in the dance together. Both the Tigers and Gamecocks earning 6 seeds in this year's tournament, but getting here in different ways. Clemson's resume elevated by a challenging non-conference schedule that included a win over Alabama, while South Carolina's 13 SEC wins were tied for second best in a conference that sent an NCAA best 8 teams to the tourney this year. After narrowly missing the tournament a year ago, the Tigers entered this season with March Madness or bust expectations. Clemson landed one of the biggest transfer portal commitments of the offseason, welcoming Syracuse sharpshooter Joe Girard into the fold, and proceeded to rip off 9 straight wins to open the campaign. Led by P.J. Hall, the Tigers cemented their status as a tourney team in February, including an upset over eventual #1 seed UNC for their second ever win on Chapel Hill.
Great day for Clemson basketball. Just really happy for my players and proud of them. Reward for a lot of hard work starting last off season. Certainly last year at this time was heartbreaking. I'm grateful for this year's team and the way they played this year.
The Tigers come into the tournament on a cold stretch, however, having lost 3 of their last 4, including an early exit at the ACC tournament. The Tigers are part of the West region. They will play at the FedEx Forum in Memphis Friday afternoon against the Mountain West tournament champion New Mexico Lobos. The winner there will meet the winner of Baylor Colgate on Sunday.
The only thing I can thank them for is that they picked us last. Second to last is nothing. What does that mean? I can't even use that as billboard material. They pick us second to last. So last it is.
Expectations were non-existent for South Carolina in the preseason. The Gamecocks were picked to finish last in the SEC in Lamont Paris's second season. South Carolina returned 3 of its top 6 scorers, including Meechie Johnson, from a team that went 11-21 a year ago. But Paris retooled the Gamecocks roster in the offseason, adding B.J. Mack, Talon Cooper, and Miles Studi from the transfer portal, in addition to signing 4-star Colin Murray Boyles. Those new faces made an immediate impact as South Carolina enjoyed the greatest single-season turnaround in program history. The Gamecocks' 26 wins this season are tied for their most ever. So despite a blowout loss to Auburn in the SEC tournament quarterfinals, they're confident stepping into the dance.
We'll just go about business as usual. It'll be for higher stakes. It'll be in the NCAA tournament. There's nothing we can do that'll change that fact. But in our minds, we'll try to prepare the same way that we have for every other game.
And they do have a bit of big dance experience. Meechie Johnson reached the second round with Ohio State in 2022. Talon Cooper and Morehead State played in the 2021 tournament. South Carolina making their 10th tourney appearance and their first since their Final Four run in 2017. They'll face Pac-12 tournament champion Oregon on Thursday in Pittsburgh's PPG Paints Arena, and the winner will advance for a Saturday game against either Creighton or Akron. Chase?
What a season it's been for Dawn Staley and the South Carolina women's basketball team. Entering March Madness, a perfect 32-0 after winning the SEC tournament for the 8th time in the past 10 seasons. But to say this kind of output was expected from a team that had to replace all 5 of their starters from a season ago would be far from the truth.
Iowa has conquered South Carolina.
Coming off a heartbreaking loss to Iowa in the 2023 Final Four round for the South Carolina Gamecocks, the end of an era was evident.
The slate is wiped clean. We can't erase what took place for the last 4 years. But we can start anew.
With young talent waiting in the wings like Chloe Kitts, alongside the addition of freshman Malaysia Fulwiley and senior transfer Tahina Pau Pau. A team full of fresh faces was ready to leave their mark on Gamecock Nation.
I think this is a group that you can expect the unexpected, because although they have us highly ranked, I don't really think they believe that. I think that's a little bit of residual from what we were able to do in previous seasons.
All starting in a historic top 10 matchup out in Paris, France, against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, where South Carolina showed just how much promise this inexperienced group of ballers possessed, dominating the Irish 100-71.
I think we all just go out there and just kill. I feel like we all have the same mindset. We all be on the same page.
As a young team full of budding stars continued to rise to the occasion, the group was able to build chemistry and learn how to play alongside one another, all while stacking wins throughout non-conference play.
Oh my God. Like, we could not have envisioned this is how we're playing back in June.
As the wins started to pile up, so did South Carolina's confidence, finishing SEC play a perfect 16-0, entering the tournament undefeated for the second straight season, all culminating in a semifinal matchup against the Tennessee Volunteers that came down to the final buzzer.
Cardoso for three, banks it in! A miracle for the Gamecocks!
Before that, I looked at coach and she was like, well, shoot it. So I seen the key was all the way back, so I was like, well, I practiced this, I'm gonna shoot it. Honestly, I didn't thought it was gonna go in, but it did, so.
I was like, no way this is about to go in. And then you look, and then it went in, and then it was just excitement from there.
Securing a spot in the conference championship game against the defending national champs in LSU. A game that the Gamecocks commanded from start to finish, locking up their 8th SEC title in the past 10 seasons.
It's a first experience for everyone, and it's going to help us in the long run, because we felt what it felt like yesterday. We're that close game. Like, we didn't want to feel like that ever again. But this feeling, I think everyone wants to feel this feeling again. So we just got to get back in the lab and get back to work and just keep doing what we're doing.
The Gamecocks enter the NCAA tournament having made the Final Four in 3 of their past 4 seasons. They're going to have to play on Friday night when they'll face the winner of Sacred Heart and Presbyterian College in the play-in round.
Still to come, after winning a high school state title together, upstate natives on both sides of the Clemson-South Carolina rivalry, what their former head coach had to say about seeing them succeed.
I'm ready to go, man. I'm just as ready to go as the rest of this team is.
Last dance for Joe Girard, why the New York native picked the Tigers for his final season, and why he says he wouldn't trade it for the world. Stay with us. You're watching Road to the Title. Clemson basketball wanted to add another scorer this offseason. Joe Girard wanted to try something different. A once unlikely match between a New York native and a Southern college program has been exactly the jolt the Tigers needed to get back to the dance.
I wanted to go somewhere else, kind of live on my own a little bit, grow up a little bit.
Joe Girard has been right at home in Clemson.
Clemson with a little tempo, a three, and it goes down. It's Joseph Girard.
Further from home than he's ever lived before.
Guys who enjoy being around each other, are going to enjoy playing with each other, and we'll enjoy winning together. And that's ultimately what we have here.
From upstate New York to the upstate of South Carolina, the grad senior sharpshooter's enjoying every beat of his last dance.
This has matched everything that I wanted, and so far it's all panned out. Playing on a great team, playing with great players, playing a great coach, living in a great place. This place has been unbelievable.
Before he rolled up the highlights at Syracuse, Girard put together a high school legacy longer than his range.
Wow. I can too, says Girard.
He owns multiple state scoring records, won 2 football state titles as a quarterback, and led Glens Falls High School to its first New York Federation basketball title ever as a senior.
We were down 3 with maybe like 20 seconds left or so. And, I hit a 3 to send us into overtime. And then in the overtime, I hit the game-winning layup at the buzzer as time expired, and hit my 50th point as well. So you couldn't even write a book, to be honest, on it.
The story continued at Syracuse, where Girard scored more than 1,600 points in 4 seasons with the Orange in the final years of Jim Boeheim's coaching career.
He's a legend, Hall of Famer. He's done so much for my basketball career, so I was going to trust him with whatever I did and whatever he says, honestly. So, we'd ask him here and there about different coaches, different teams, different styles. The best answer he gave was always Clemson.
So it only made sense when Boeheim retired in 2023 that Girard gave Clemson a look for his 5th and final college campaign.
Once I got here on my visit, saw how much these guys really enjoy each other. It just made it feel like a second home.
He brings an offensive confidence and a mentality of winning that you need. When we went into the portal, we knew we needed one more guy that could score, and that's Joe.
He has continued to score at Clemson, reaching 3rd on the ACC career three-pointers list and passing 2,000 points on the road against his former team.
The one thing I always said, I just want to get back to March. I made the Sweet 16 my sophomore year, and I've been itching to get back since. And this team, I feel like out of all the teams that recruited me, gave me the best chance to do so.
There was no postseason promised when Girard picked the Tigers, but they're back, and so is he. One final opportunity on college basketball's biggest stage.
I'm as excited as ever. It's every kid's dream to play in March Madness, so any chance you get to do that, don't take it for granted.
And while Joe Girard and P.J. Hall have garnered most of the headlines for the Tigers this year, Chase, Clemson's unsung heroes have played a major role in the team's success.
That's absolutely right. Ian Shefflin's tenacity and hustle has endeared him to the Tiger faithful, and it's a good bet you'll find fans at Little John showing him love in the form of chef hats.
It's fantastic. Shefflin's breakout junior season earned him the ACC's Most Improved Player Award as he finished 3rd in the conference in rebounding and nearly averaged a double-double at 9.5 points and 9.5 rebounds. His head coach has called Shefflin the epitome of Clemson grit.
When I walk around town, people, the first guy they mention to me is Ian Shefflin. It's because some of us all look at Ian and like, how's this guy do that? Maybe I could do that, right? But his heart is so big, his will to get balls, and how accepting he is of what he's trying to do. You love coaching guys like that.
Like Shefflin at Clemson, South Carolina has gotten major contributions this year from B.J. Mack. The grad transfer from Wofford has provided the Gamecocks a floor-stretching big man, second on the team in both scoring and made three-pointers.
When I was in my recruiting process with Coach Paris and the coaching staff, that's really what I told him. I said I want to make sure that we get back to being in the NCAA. I've never been there, and that's one of my goals, and it's now being complete. It's a new season 3 for us, so we hopefully be able to make a run at it.
Mack has shined in tournament games before. Last March, he hit a buzzer beater in Wofford's SoCon quarterfinal win over Greensboro.
Still to come, they are ready to dance in Clinton. The Presbyterian women's basketball team playing in the tournament for the first time ever. Meanwhile, South Carolina guard Talon Cooper, he's back on the big stage for the second time in his career, but playing in his first tournament as a Gamecock. How his basketball journey led him home. Straight ahead. P.J. Hall has certainly made the most of his senior season. The Spartanburg native has the Tigers back in the tourney for the first time since he was a freshman, earning all ACC first-team honors and is in contention for multiple national awards. As Hall has gone, so have the Tigers. He's second in the ACC in scoring. He's been at his best on both ends of the floor in some of their biggest wins over UNC and Alabama, and he knows just how much it means to make the tournament, especially after the heartbreaking snub of a year ago.
Obviously, it's a special tournament. It's one of the biggest sporting events in the country and also the world. I mean, it's an incredible deal, incredible accomplishment. But, you know, like you said, it was one of the goals this year, but it's a checkpoint. I mean, we're looking to get there all year and continue to advance. And so as we're prepping for these games, we're not just looking to get there. We're looking to continue to make a run and further our season.
But Hall's not the only upstate native making it to March. Julia?
Mark Hall's teammate at Dorman, Talon Cooper, is also having a standout season for the Gamecocks. Cooper is one of the key pieces that Lamont Paris picked up this offseason in the transfer portal. He's worn 3 different uniforms in his collegiate career, learning something new at every stop. As a high school junior, Talon Cooper didn't have a lot of hype as a hoops prospect.
Probably say underdog. I had 0 offers going to my senior year.
Today, he's one of the best players on one of the top-ranked teams in the country.
It's just me playing ball. I mean, it's me stepping up, and when my name is called, it's not going to shut down for my team.
Growing up in the upstate, Cooper always had a passion for the game, and the game has given him some pretty special memories. He won a high school state championship as a freshman at Spartanburg Day School, playing alongside NBA superstar Zion Williamson. By his senior year, he was at Dorman, capping off his high school career by helping the Cavs win a state title.
I always make a joke to my family that I got engaged my freshman year, which I won a state championship with the day school, and then I got married my senior year. So it's the perfect way to go out in your high school career.
After leaving Dorman, Cooper went to Morehead State, where he found himself in a familiar spot, being underestimated.
They picked us last, so I mean we finished like second or third in that conference when we went to the tournament. So I just feel like it's been an underdog my whole life.
Cooper got his first taste of playing in the NCAA tournament with the Eagles in 2021.
I always say, like, going to March Madness is like a drug. It's addictive.
After 3 seasons at Morehead State, he transferred to Minnesota, where he faced one of the toughest parts of his basketball journey, being part of a team that only won 9 games the entire season. He was ready for a change and got an opportunity he had always dreamed of, returning home to play at South Carolina.
I actually committed on my visit. I couldn't wait. I just want to go ahead and seal the deal. I take a lot of pride in it because I just feel like South Carolina is like an underrated state for basketball, and we just get overlooked because we have North Carolina right there. So I just feel like just to be from South Carolina is to show that, hey, we got some guys here that can actually play. I mean, it's just great to be here.
Playing at home, but underrated once again. Entering this season, South Carolina was picked by league media to finish last in the SEC.
They never been to one of our practices. They never seen how we play together. We just took that and just ran with it. I mean, we never paid any attention because we know what type of team we are.
Under the direction of head coach Lamont Paris, who's in just his 2nd season with the team, the Gamecocks have been the biggest surprise in college basketball this year. They went from winning 11 games a season ago to more than doubling that total this year and earning their first top 25 ranking since 2017.
It was a moment like, finally. It's undescribable because a lot of guys on this team, including myself, haven't been ranked in our life. So it was just like, wow, just to finally have our number in front of us is just a wild moment.
There have been a lot of those moments for Cooper this season, and South Carolina looks poised to have a few more in March. But even if they're underdogs come tourney time, that's okay with Talon Cooper. He knows all about proving people wrong.
You can write your own destiny. The destiny's not written for you already. You write your own. So don't let nobody tell you what your destiny is.
And one person who knows Cooper and Hall well is their former high school coach, Thomas Ryan. Ryan coached the two when they were at Dorman and led the Cavaliers to a state championship. Look back here at Cooper shooting there. You can see Hall looking on as he shot. Pretty cool. Ryan said there's nothing better than seeing his players succeed at the highest level, and he thinks Cooper and Hall have qualities that can make a difference for their teams this week.
Well, Talon is very competitive. He's got a fiery personality. He's a leader. He's got a high IQ, which you see that every night when you watch South Carolina play, that he leads this team. His toughness just makes him real special. You've seen PJ get healthy for one, and as he's been healthy, he's played his best basketball, averaging almost 19 points a game this year. He's the face of that program at Clemson, and he relishes that. He's very comfortable in that position, and I think he's excited because he knows this is one of the best Clemson teams in a while, and they've got a chance to do something truly special.
Ryan keeps in touch with both players and texts them about once a week. Mark, I've had the pleasure of meeting both Talon and PJ this year, and I have to say what stands out about them, not only are they great basketball players, but they're great people off the court as well. Normally when you interview a player, they say thank you, move on quickly. Both of those guys took time to chat with me for a few minutes after. They're both fantastic people as well. Easy to root for sure.
And think about PJ Hall, the #1 ranked player in the state, coming out, picked Clemson, had all sorts of expectations. He's absolutely lived up to them. Will go down as one of the great players in Clemson program history. And of course, Talon Cooper jumped at the opportunity to be home, and how special to get a chance to do this with the Gamecocks this year.
Can't wait to see them both on the big stage.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
Well, still to come, the Presbyterian women playing close to home for their first ever NCAA tournament game, while the College of Charleston men are headed west. We wrap up Road to the Title after the break.
It's a banner year of basketball all across the state of South Carolina. 5 different programs dancing this weekend.
Mark, it's always an unforgettable moment when a team sees its name flash across the screen. It was extra special this year for Presbyterian, and Chase, the Blue Hose, are hoping to bust some brackets.
That's absolutely right, Julia. Talk about a Cinderella story. The smallest school in Division I college athletics is going dancing for the first time in program history. If you haven't heard, we're absolutely talking about the Presbyterian Blue Hose, who locked up a 16 seed after defeating Radford in what was their first ever appearance in the Big South Conference Championship game. 6th-year head coach Laura Sharp is realizing heights never before seen at PC and believes their historic run doesn't have to come to an end anytime soon.
Anything can happen in March. That's why it is the greatest time of the year and why people love it so much. And I've seen that all over Twitter, that this is why people love March Madness, because of stories like our program and being the smallest team to ever compete in the NCAA tournament. It's awesome, and we're made for this, and I can't wait to go experience it.
The Blue Hose will battle it out with Sacred Heart in the play-in game tonight down in Columbia, with the winner advancing to face South Carolina in the opening round on Friday.
For the second straight year, the College of Charleston men also celebrating on Selection Sunday. They're a 13 seed in the West region. They'll play 4-seed Alabama Friday. That game all the way across the country in Spokane, Washington. But head coach Pat Kelsey unfazed that his team has to travel more than 2,000 miles from home.
My thing was just tell us where, just tell us when, and just tell us who, and I'll run there. You know, I think we have the best fans in college basketball, and it is a long way. It's a long way from the crib. But if I know Charleston fans the way I know them, they're going to travel no better if we were playing on the surface of the moon. So I think we'll have a good contingent of Cougars out there.
If Charleston can pull off the upset, they'll play St. Mary's or Grand Canyon in the next round. Mark?
Oh, March Madness is just about here. For Julia Morris, Chase Justice, and our entire team, thank you for joining us for Road to the Title. Have a great night. May your brackets never bust and your champions prosper. Hope you enjoy all the hoops to come.